On April 9th, 2020, starter deck Yugioh was released as the beginning of a new form of Yu-Gi-Oh called Rush Duel. It's been 4 years and we're still waiting for this to drop in Western countries. 3.5 years later, and Western countries finally got their hands on Rush Duel when it premiered in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, the widely successful mobile app that sought to bring a more simplified version of Yu-Gi-Oh! To people worldwide. Rush Duel sought to bring a spin to the classic version of Yu-Gi-Oh! That was more comprehensive and more fun to play against than whatever this is. A renewed focus on the battle phase, simplified card effects and deck building, and a more active game state with players always starting each turn with 5 cards in their hand. So 6 months go by and many updates later and oh no, that's not good. So what exactly went wrong? I hopped into Rush Duel pretty much blind to get the new player experience with the intention of not making this video until I hit the highest possible rank competitive matchmaking had to offer. And I now stand before you a king of games. Okay, step 1 to making sure your game has a successful release: do not barrage your player with a bunch of pay-to-win garbage immediately on release. You got this, Rush Duel, go get 'em. So the game drops in Duel Links, and with it the debut core set. This set contains 140 packs per box with 1 copy of each ultra rare per box. There's no way to buy the specific card you need like Master Duel, so you potentially have to go through all 140 packs to get 1 copy of the card you want. Packs can't be that expensive, right? Well, we can calculate that. Best pack bundle is 36 packs, divide that from 140 packs, multiply that by the cost of the bundle, and we get 97 bucks for 1 piece of virtual cardboard? Oh, hell no. And so, the game dies immediately on arrival. Rush Duel costs hundreds of dollars, Dueling Book is free. Okay, so 90% of the incoming players end up dropping the game within a few weeks, but for the people who stayed, what gameplay awaited them in this new form of Yu-Gi-Oh? Was it better? Worse? Honestly, neither is the case. Rush Duel does achieve what it says it wants to do with simplified card text and battle-focused gameplay, but that design came with its own set of problems. The first problem came with the legend card design. You can only play 1 legend card of each type in your deck, so monster, spell, trap, but they are incredibly overpowered relative to the other cards in their type. So let's take a look at Widespread Ruin, which destroys the highest attack monster on your opponent's field whenever they declare an attack. So this is a legend trap. Now let's take a look at what is considered to be one of the best traps that isn't a legendary card, which is called the Barrier. This thing is a battle trap that shrinks a monster by 400. Yeah, the gap is immeasurably bad. This creates a Trinity format scenario similar to GOAT format's big 3 spell cards, or formats like Master Duel that have 3 copies of Max C. These cards have a profound impact on the pace of the game in favor of people who draw them first. Being able to draw up to 5 cards each turn makes these scenarios somewhat uncommon, but these inconsistencies in card power create situations you have no way of winning unless you draw a particular legend card. But if you do have that card, the impact is devastating and will likely result in a lethal reversal since players start with only 6,000 life points. And speaking of scenarios you'll lose unless you draw a specific card, let's talk about maximum summoning. Y'all remember when Pokemon had that V-Union mechanic a while back where if you got all 4 unique pieces you could play them as sort of a super Pokemon? Max Summon is similar, except it's only 3 pieces, but you have to play them from your hand. Max Summon monsters have an absurdly high attack, inherent immunity to destruction traps, and usually have some other broken effects that are unique to each one. This means that the only way to get through Max monsters is to have a copy of either Talismanic Seal Array, which will shrink that monster enough to be destroyed by non-Max monsters, Tribute to the Doomed, which destroys the entire Max monster and leaves your opponent wide open, or summon a Max monster of your own. All of these options cannot be done on your opponent's turn, so there's a chance you lose before you even get to make any sort of counterplay, like this poor fellow who dared to stand between me and King of Games. He is dead. That man is dead. I killed him. The point I'm trying to make here is that these design choices often put players into what I like to call the do they have it scenario. Essentially a situation that is high committal and or game ending, and the only way for the defender to beat that situation is to have a very specific option. And whether or not they have it decides the game. There is no skill. The only way to win is with the heart of the cards. Okay, in the actual Paper Rush Duel format, this is less of an issue because they have fusion monsters, but that's an exclusive form of Rush Duel that most of the world doesn't have access to. In the globally available version of Rush Duel that is Duel Links, there are no extra deck monsters, and the gap it leaves in gameplay is huge. Without the extra deck, your main deck monsters offer no value outside of themselves, i.e. their stats and effects. Outside of tribute summoning, they cannot become a part of something greater. Non-legendary level 4 and lower monsters have their attack strength capped at 1500. They cannot go higher than that. So if you draw a full hand of level 4 monsters and your opponent has one monster with 1600 attack, that's it. You cannot do anything. You cannot overlay for an Xyz monster, you can't make a Link monster. Even if you had fusion monsters, you can't fuse without a spell. All you can do is set 3 and pray your opponent doesn't kill you. That is a horrible way to lose because you had cards, but no options. Xyz summoning would be an amazing thing to add to Rush Duel, and despite being a great solution to the problem, on top of being one of the most easy to learn and positively received mechanics in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's still being left out of the game and may never make it in. Why this is, I have no idea, and it's incredibly frustrating to watch this pan out as Rush Duel continues to fade away. I want to be clear, I like Rush Duel. I know I've spent a bunch of time dunking on it, but I would not have grinded to King of Games had I not found the gameplay somewhat interesting or felt the mode had no potential. My critique of Duel Links Rush Duel is that the game feels incredibly half-baked. There are gaps in the card pool that lead to do they have it scenarios all the time, and the lack of extra deck means your monsters feel a bit clunky. I genuinely hope Rush Duel is able to make it and become a staple alongside Master Duel and the TCG and all that stuff, but I just don't think Konami wants this to succeed. It feels so incredibly half-assed, but I really hope it's able to succeed, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. So thank you for watching.